Hi, welcome to New Issues. I'm Dane Pace.
Colin Karkosh, and joining us today is my brother.
Hi, I am not David. I am Alex.
Today we're going to talk about the little bit of news that we got this week. There's actually a lot that came out this week, but not that much I remembered, and a lot came out like between 20 minutes and 30 minutes before the show started, and that's actually got us really excited. And also we're going to talk about Age of Ultron a lot. So
Yeah.
That's going to be like the major part of this episode.
yeah, right now I'm telling you, spoils. We're going to spoil the shit out of everything. We thought tossed around the idea of talking about Batman number 40. It's also kind of important, and it's again, if we do spoilers, because there's some crazy stuff that happens in that. You've been warned.
It's all on you.
If you haven't seen or read any of those, and you don't want to be surprised, come back another time.
But
Read
definitely,
those.
definitely partake in those.
Yeah, definitely partake in them, and definitely come back.
Yeah.
Most
Come back.
importantly, come back.
Come back. We need you.
We need the audience. As usual, we always talk about what's coming up in the future. Really, nothing much. Next week, the only thing that's for sure, next week or the week of the weekend of the 16th or 17th, we're having tinted right now one guest, possibly two guests. The first guest is my good friend Jay Kaufman. Him and I have been working together with ideas and stuff for a very long time. I used to be a conceptual artist for the guy. He's a playwright. He'll get an actual introduction when he shows up. And the other one is the mysterious producer, Nick, that we talk about all the time. Those two actually used to be roommates at one point or another, and they just haven't really hung out, talked in a long time, a couple of years. And so it'd be kind of nice to see them talking about stuff again. And they're very kind of anti-comic book stuff, and not they're against them because Jake reads them, but Jake and Nick are kind of against the establishment, are very cynical towards things, and so it's going to be an interesting show, hopefully. Aside from that, I mentioned I got my new rig, and I haven't got a webcam yet. That's the biggest reason why I haven't switched over the production stuff to the new rig. But once I get around to purchasing that, which I make it sound like it's a big deal, I don't have the money for it, but I just spent $300 on books today, so I should probably buy a webcam. I'm just saying. When the books come in, you'll know it. I'll show them off on the show. Aside from that, I guess we move on to news. Guys, do you guys have any plans for the future of the show?
Of
Nope.
yeah, not really much.
Moving on.
I'll be back for Ant-Man and Fantastic Four.
I'll probably not be. Actually, I'll partake in Fantastic Four. I'm actively planning on not going to see it. Just
Yeah.
I'm just against it for one reason or another. I don't know why. Every time I see anything about it, I'm like, no. Like I was very like adamant not watching the trailers when they came out, and because I watched Age of Ultron twice in the past 2 days, the movie's been out for 3 days. Just to clarify, in case this doesn't get posted for a while, I had to see it twice. So, and both times I'm still like,
Yeah.
not so much. But I digress. So onwards to news. So, right now, if you were to go onto YouTube and type in Marvel, Xmen, and Evolution, you can watch the entire show right now for free.
Cool.
For free, like all the seasons and stuff. It's on
For free?
for free. But yeah, they're on Marvel's channel. They're not under a playlist, and they're not like officially announced. You actually have to kind of be very specific and type in Marvel, X-Men, Evolutions, and then you can find it. There's several people that have created playlists though, so if you want to binge watch and do a Netflix thing, you can. But I was watching some of it earlier today. I forgot how much I really enjoyed that show. It's a cool take on some of the characters. Like I hadn't realized early on Wolverine didn't have his mutton chops. He's actually clean shaven. He has a little whiskers, but he's clean shaven. And when he first appeared, I'm like, huh. Weird.
That's what it looks like.
So that's what his face looks like. Got any opinions on the show other than that?
I liked it.
Yeah, I remember enjoying it back in, what was that, like 2003?
Early 2000s. It was right after the first movie. It was
Yeah.
like in between first and second movie.
Huh. Yeah, it shows pretty cool character designs. Like I like how they handle Rogue, Shadowcat. Like how they made Shadowcat real young for this. I mean, she's
Yeah.
usually kind of young anyway, but I like how they made her very specifically 15. I love how they handle Nightcrawler.
Yeah.
So yeah, I liked it. I remember seeing it. I liked, and while I watched it, I liked. The music's kind of funny though, because it's definitely that early 2000s kind of. We're gonna be edgy by playing some metal stuff in the background, and you can tell. But
The
once you get past
electronic
the music,
metal.
what was that?
The electronic metal.
Yeah, like I mean, Batman Beyond did it too. So
Yeah, but Batman Beyond had an excuse. It was futuristic.
future doesn't mean metal.
Have you seen the design of the cities? Of course it means
in the future,
metal.
everything is chrome and metal.
Exactly.
Moving onwards. So a couple of days ago, well, let's back up a little bit. All right, now I'm wearing my Aperture hoodie. I'm a huge Valve fan, and I'm a huge Half-Life fan. Half-Life is what got me into computers, into gaming as a whole. So it's a very strong, like it's very ingrained to me, and more literally now that I'm doing this because I actually have a Half-Life tattoo right here. But so it's a very big part of my life, and so after Half-Life came out, big success, yada yada yada. Several years later, Half-Life 2 came out, another great success, and then Valve said, "Here, have our resources that we use to make the game. You can do anything with it. You can even remake Half-Life 1." And this is exactly what somebody did. Well, a group of friends and modders got together and started remaking Half-Life 1 on the new engine. And they did. They did it very successfully, released it back in 2012, all the way up to near the end. But it wasn't quite a finished game. And then they said the full version, which includes the end of the game, and a multiplayer will come out when the game comes on Steam. Well, earlier this week, a countdown happened on this website, the mod's website. The mod's called Black Mesa. A countdown suddenly appeared on this website, counting down to what I think it's going to be Wednesday at like, or Tuesday at like 10 in the morning or something like that. Some very weird time. And what I think is it's going to be them officially releasing it on Steam and all this fun stuff. That's me. Again, it's called Black Mesa. It's a great mod. Have you played Half-Life for Black Mesa? Any of you two?
Nah. The only Valve game I played is Portal and Portal 2.
Okay.
Same with me. I have the orange box, and so played a little bit here and there, but not enough to really. I'm not well versed in the stories.
Okay. I'm trying to think. I actually had something to say about it. Freaking oh, that's what I remember. One of the things that people suspect that they're doing, again, why it took so long, because 2012 is damn near 3 years ago. It is 3 years ago, but why it took so long to do like 4 maps is because they're going back and doing another visual overhaul, porting it to the Portal 2 engine, so making it look that pretty, at least up to that point, which is really interesting. So I'm kind of excited for that. But yeah, they. Like when I played through, because I immediately played through it. I'm a huge Half-Life fan. Hell, when I got this new computer of mine, the first thing I did was install Half-Life and Opposing Force. And the first night I played it, I got about halfway through Half-Life just because I know that game so well. It's having such a great time doing it. Then I haven't picked it up since because I've been doing other things like getting caught up in Skyrim. Like I forgot how much of a life sucker that game can be. But so I'm looking forward to hopefully this big reveal in a few days. If it is what it is, well, I hope it is. We'll talk about it again, and maybe one of these days we'll do another kind of commentary chat about Half-Life series. And I kind of want to do a one-off about the whole, like the huge story arc that those games are. But that's neither here nor now. Moving on. So earlier this week, a photo from the Suicide Squad movie set was leaked, all right? And it is of Will Smith in character as Deadshot. Okay. I have
It looks
shown,
just like him in like civilian clothes, so it's
Yeah.
probably just like Floyd Lawton walking around.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's what I think it is. I actually think it's a flashback. I very specifically think it's Floyd Lawton before he got arrested, because there's another photo with him with a little girl. For those who don't know, Deadshot's motive to to join the Suicide Squad is his daughter. He wants to see his daughter again, and so I think they're going to show this flashback so the audience can get a connection. Like, okay, this guy isn't just a crazy guy who likes shooting people. He has reasons for what he does. I mean, yeah, he is kind of a crazy guy that shoots people, but that's beside the point. But upon looking at the image, 3 things immediately come to mind to me. 1, Wild Wild West. He looks very reminiscent of his character from that movie.
That duster trench coat that he has.
Yeah, because it's red. He has the same color palette. It's really strange. 2, I'm actually really looking forward to him as Deadshot. And 3, you can see the influence that the movie Gotham Knight had on him. Have any of you seen that?
It's been a while since I've seen that one.
Okay.
Yeah, same here.
Okay. So Gotham Knight was a tie-in movie to the Nolanverse. A lot of people don't realize that movie is in the Nolanverse. And it kind of explains what happens between Batman Begins and The Dark Knight. And it's more little vignettes. It's very much like the Animatrix. It's 6 shorts that they're not interconnected whatsoever. It's just 6 shorts that take place in this universe. You get one with Killer Croc, one with Deadshot, one with I think the Killer Croc one has Scarecrow appears in it again. You have one where Bruce learns his tolerance for pain and working through it, which is I really like that one. It opens up with this great one from kids' point of view. Like, it starts out with these kids saying, "Yo, I saw Batman," and how they describe him, and he changes. At one point, he's this shadow, like just a shadow beast that shifts, like shape shifts and stuff like that. At one point, he's a robot. I mean, it's great. It's really good. But there's a segment that's dedicated to Deadshot, and in it, they took the Bruce Wayne route. They have a rich man who's deciding to do something with his money, and that is, instead of being a vigilante, he's a gun for hire. And he's very good at what he does. And so he dressed like he's rich. He dressed like he has lots of money. He has a wide brim hat. He has a long coat. I mean, he looks a lot like this. I mean, when we get done with this, look it up. You'll be like, yeah, that looks a lot like Will Smith. And that's the first thing I thought of when I saw it. And I like it. Now, moments before we hit play or record on this show, this photo came out. This is Will Smith as Deadshot. In costume, 100%. When I saw it, this was my actual reaction. Oh shit, he has the mask. Yes,
it's true.
Thing, it's like, I know the whole speculation, like weeks before this, people are like, or even after the first image popped up, people are like, "Oh, is he gonna just do like the eye patch like in Arrow?" Or is he going to do the full mask? Because it's people could see it working either way. Mm-hmm. Where it's like it's a movie, and movies like it doesn't really help the character emote if you're just looking at a solid mask.
Yeah. I know Kevin Smith. That's the only thing he wanted. He didn't care as Will Smith. He just wanted the whole mask. Like, I just want that full mask. And honestly, I think he'll have the mask for a bit, but I think he'll get blown apart or something. For one reason or another, he'll take it off.
Yeah, just care. Like
as long as I got this.
It's like in Guardians of the Galaxy too.
Yeah,
like you'll see the parts where he doesn't have the mask.
Yeah, like at the beginning, say it's set in Arkham, like it's just Will Smith and his face. He's like, "Yeah, I'll join your Suicide Squad." That's right, I name dropped it. Then when he's in battle, he'll have the mask on.
Yeah, looking at this picture, I really like it. I mean, you see he's well armed. He has armor. He has the right color scheme. Everything about it is perfect. So, with that said, a few minutes before this photo was released, this photo was released. It's the entire cast, aside from the Joker, obviously. It's Task Force X. It is the squad. Now, before we get into the big names, the one that caught me off guard, the one that I didn't even know was part of it, is Katana. That was the big surprise to me. I went, wait,
Like-
what?
I don't think no one had said anything about her until this picture showed up.
Yeah.
Yeah, people were thinking that she was going to be a character called Plastique. Not like from Beyond, but
Plastique,
another character named Plastique.
Is she the one who I believe she's in the anime series, the one who, like the model who thought she was getting uglier, so she was killing models? Is that her?
Yeah, I think that's the one.
Huh.
Like, people were speculating that.
I mean, I could have sort of seen that. So, now that we got Katana out of the way, I mean, whose costume looks really cool, which is really interesting considering she's about to be on Arrow in like this week.
Yeah.
Her costume looks really good. I'm not sure about the mask. Like, Arrow's doing it too. The mask is like that in the comics. I don't like that half mask thing with the bullseye in the forehead. I don't like that. I prefer the domino mask version. Have you guys seen that one? Her arms.
No, but like every time I've seen her in comics, it's always the half mask.
Look up pre-New 52 Katana. She wears orange armor. She has an orange domino mask, and it looks really good. I mean, when you see it, you go, yeah, that's. When you see them side by side, you go, yeah, the pre-New 52 is clearly a superior visual style. I understand that they're trying to have her embrace her Japanese heritage. I understand that. It's just white face, red dot. To me, that's a target. I mean, then again, so
you gotta have a
big
distraction so that bullseye, so that Deadshot can get you.
Yeah. So now that we got her out of the way,
Start from left and go right.
yes, I know who the characters are. Do you want me to go ahead and just kind of go through them? The only one I don't know anything about is the first one. To me, he was a new character.
I do.
Okay,
so he's
the first guy is Slipknot. Please learn me, Alex.
He's important to the story because in the original Suicide Squad story, he was the first member to say, "You know what? Screw this. I'm out." And then he was the one who got his head blown off. So
he's the first red coat.
Okay.
So he's the red shirt of this movie.
So that's actually going to be my question at the end of this. We can, when we get done talking about them, we can place our bets on who's going to be the first to die. Who do you think's going to die?
Slipknot.
So make a Deadpool?
But yeah, when we get done explaining the characters, we can throw down our wagers. Following him is Captain Boomerang. Captain Boomerang. Captain Boomerang.
Australian accent.
Yeah, it looks like him.
Down under. Yeah,
I think the only thing the picture's missing is like the obvious boomerang.
Yeah, he's missing the boomerangs and the cunt cap, the piss cutter cap, the garrison cap. That's it. All I could think of was all the military vulgar terms for the hat. The garrison cap, but
he has like his typical like heavy winter coat.
Yeah. Got the boots. Yeah. He's in blue. That's what I like about this. Everyone has their color schemes, which is really cool. Except for the guy in the very end, who we'll talk about in a minute. Next to him is Enchantress. Her costume is very interesting. I'm looking at it real close because one, I don't know much about the character other than she's a witch, and I kind of feel bad that Marvel just beat them to a witch and magic, but whatevs. What to me the surprising thing is the actress playing her is a pretty actress. The character is actually kind of a pretty character. I mean, she isn't like over embellished like Power Girl or anything like that, but she's still a kind of pretty character. And on here, she's not that like she's kind of like she kind of looks like one of those old hags, and he's like, I'm not sure about this. So, any thoughts?
I do know she's in the Justice League Dark.
Yeah,
in a few issues.
Yeah, she's in the first arc. She's the villain. Well, and she's not really a villain there. But what happens is her soul gets split, essentially. The young version and the old version. And this looks more like the old version. So
yeah.
Next to her is Rick Flag, who looks... who of all the characters looks the most out of place. I love it. Rick Flag
I think he's...
Well, I don't
he's the
know.
only person who's not either a meta, a criminal, or a super being in some sort, or a vigilante, or anything like that. He's a colonel. He's a ex-military, ex-spec ops. He is, judging by this, they're going to go by the original Rick Flag, and he's going to be the field leader. So he's going to be the actual guy in charge, keeping everyone in check, or trying to keep everyone in check. If
He's the audience.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. He's going to be the audience for the most part. He's a pretty big character in New Frontier so far. I'm a little over halfway. I'm actually almost done with the book. He's an ass. He's an asshole. Like he's angry. He's embittered. And from what I understand, he is kind of an angry guy because he has seen a lot of crazy shit. The only way I can describe Rick Flag is the silver to golden age version of Nick Fury with both eyes. He went on these crazy missions, that type of stuff, super spy type thing. Is the best way I can kind of mesh him to Marvel. We're going to skip.
Also pretty mad. You'd also be pretty mad if you have to like watch or you have to like babysit all these troublemakers.
Oh yeah, I want to skip over Harley. We'll come back to her.
Yeah.
And we can skip Deadshot because we just talked about him. It's kind of cool they have a picture of him without his mask too. It's interesting that he has no hair. It's just like, oh, Will Smith shaved his head. Cool. Next, good old.
Like he has the little wrist blasters too. So.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. That's awesome.
Good call. He does.
Next to him is Killer Croc, a character that I didn't think I'd ever see on the big screen.
Yeah,
that is awesome.
Yeah, from like we're not going like the he's an animal, like a real animal, just in human being form.
No, they're going based off the way he was supposed to be, which is he's a person with a skin condition. That's really what he is. He just has a really bad skin condition that actually exists. So he's probably going to be. They're probably going to hint at his circus background. Because if you don't know, Killer Croc came from the circus. He filed his teeth down because of his skin. That's why he has the sharp teeth. So I'm glad that they're keeping Waylon Jones for the most part.
What's even crazier is that's all real makeup.
Oh, that's makeup? Nice.
Yeah, that's the same guy who was Curse in Thor: The Dark World. Yeah, like it's hard to pronounce his name, but people know him as Triple A.
Oh, okay, I know who you're talking about.
No, like seriously, if you look at the guy's name, you're like, no, I'm not butchering that.
Yeah. And next to Killer Croc, he threw a rock.
It was a big rock.
It was a big rock. Watch the Batman animated series to get that joke. Next to him is El Diablo. A minute ago, before we started, I explained who El Diablo was to them in the current Suicide Squad. His costume's really strange because in the book he doesn't really wear a shirt. He's covered in tattoos, and he's a metahuman. And his ability is he can create fire, shoot fire. He has absolute control of fire. And when he does this, the tattoos burn away a little bit. And so when he runs out of tattoos, he runs out of fire. And so in the books, after each mission, he had to get re-inked up and stuff like that. And body's covered in tribal tattoos and stuff like that. I believe he's South American, but he could also be not Filipino, but Samoan. But I'm going to say he's South American, Latino. So you probably
just the build of his like skull. It looks like I would go with like South American.
Yeah, I'd go South American. Actually, I almost go Latino because of the way he's dressed. I could see him residing in South LA with some gangs, because I could see him with gang tats and stuff like that. To me, that makes sense.
Yeah, he looks like that. Like he would hang out with a gang.
Yeah, that's how he looks to me.
And that would like round out the diversity of this Suicide Squad.
Yeah, and the team is very diverse. A lot of people don't realize that. Yeah, if you look at them, they look like the colors look kind of bland, and like, or the costumes look kind of bland and kind of muted. That's just the overlay of the picture. But if you start looking at the characters look like how the characters should. They have the characters' color schemes, the key traits of the costumes. I mean, even Enchantress is wearing a cloak of some sort, which is really interesting. Now, we skipped over Harley, and there's a reason why I wanted to do that, because there's going to be a lot of discussion about her. One, she looks great. I mean, I was very surprised on how she looks. I'm also very surprised on how much they drew from the new 52 version of her. But with that said, they also said they're sticking to her roots, and they mentioned that she is going to be more towards anime series style. So her personality may be closer to Batman anime series. Her costume may be pretty much this, which wouldn't bother me. I mean, it's not as revealing as the new 52.
It's hard to pull off a body suck.
Yeah,
And that too.
Yeah,
That's
to me, like even when it comes to cosplay, Harley is probably the character I'm the most picky about, because that's a very specific, very specific body style you have to have, and that's a hard one to pull off. So, like, and I'm one of those people, like, if you don't have the figure, you shouldn't do it. I mean, that comes males and females. If you don't have the figure of the character, don't do that, because it's embarrassing to everybody. I know it's kind of a dick move.
Hello, Nikki.
But you don't want to go with pencil arms becoming Thor.
Yeah, like, I could never be Batman, but I could be Superman on one occasion. Or two occasions. You
could be both Hulk, Bruce Banner.
Oh yeah, I could be Bruce Banner. But I could be Superman in Flashpoint. Easily be Flashpoint Superman. Look at me. I even got the big head and everything. I could be freaking zombie Superman when he gets struck by lightning in Dark Knight Returns. What I'm saying is, I couldn't do it, and we won't ever see me as Superman, because I have enough respect for the character. I'm not going to pretend that I look like him and insult his image. Again, back to Harley, I find it that's a very specific body type you have to have. I'm glad that they got it right. Now, down to the details. I mean, this is the one that I looked a lot at the details for. Her new 52. I mean, even with the bullet belt. I mean, I'm looking at a statue of it right now. It's the only reason why I know. It's interesting that she has they're platforms is what they are. Platform heels. I like what they're doing with the hair. I like the blue and black. I think it's really interesting that they ain't gone with the that. To me, that's a weird mix between the Arkham games and the current universe. But I like it. I think it looks good.
It works for real world. Yeah.
The makeup looks good. Like how she has. I like the collar. She has a collar. She has the little cuffs. I think that's good. I think what sells that character to me right now is that face.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
Like her face and her colors. She's so bright. She looks out of place. The way she's gonna be. She's gonna be the wild card. That being this supposed to be like an Ocean's 11 type movie. She's gonna be the wild card. The one that's just gonna be there and fuck it up. Agreed? I mean, that's why I think the Joker's there. I think the Joker's going to be there just to get her to distract her. Or possibly flashback. One of the two. Of her origin. Because that's the thing. I think you're going to get a lot of origins in this movie.
Well, you got to.
Yeah.
Most people aren't aware of these characters.
Yeah. We know for a fact that some people are going to at least know about Boomerang through Arrow and Flash. Which I still haven't seen that episode of Flash, and it makes me sad.
It's really good. You should
that's what I heard.
Do it now.
Do it now.
Flash, I've really been enjoying that series.
Oh yeah, I'm so excited for Arrow and Flash's next 2 episodes.
Man.
Well, I think Flash was a surprise hit to everybody.
Oh yeah.
So.
Like, it's a Flash. What's it going to be? It's going to be all dark and gritty like all the other series.
That's you can't even do.
Good.
You can't even do a dark gritty Flash. I don't think it's physically possible.
No, but like the personality of the character. There's...
Yeah. I mean, I can sort of see it. I can see it with Oliver Queen. I can. Is it true to the character? Not entirely, but I can understand where they can get a dark and gritty, and they're doing it pretty good. And they're slowly removing that, which I like. From the show and making him back
more Oliver Queen than they are Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, they're slowly actually turning him into Oliver Queen again. So, anywho, enough of that. Now for the meat and potatoes.
Speaking of Batman,
Oh, I guess, do we want to talk about 40?
Um, yeah, we could probably do like a little mini book club kind of thing going on.
Okay.
yeah.
I'm assuming you two have hard copies of the book? Because I don't. I had to read it digitally, but I didn't give a shit.
Yeah,
Um,
I got it. It's just not with me in
Okay.
this room right now.
Batman number 40 is the closing book to Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo's current arc on Batman. The story's called Endgame. Okay. They said everything's going to be very different come post-convergence. I think it's June. I think it's starting June, everything's going to be very different for Batman. And they didn't explain why, other than the fact that we saw a new armor coming out. And it's been jokingly called the bunny rabbit suit. Or I think Greg Capullo calls it the...
I've heard someone call it the Tick armor.
The Tick armor is good. Greg Capullo had a funny name for it that he kept on calling it.
I have a picture of it.
Oh, yeah, there it is. But it's... upon closer inspection, it looks more like a police vehicle. And so that's kind of interesting.
Oh, dang, you haven't read, in this free comic book day that DC published, there's like 3 mini stories in it. Or there's like 3 samples in it. So you have Batman, Superman, and
Justice League.
yeah. And so I've read the Batman. So
Did they reveal who's in the suit?
yep.
Okay, so we can talk about it. It's Jim Gordon in the suit. I haven't read the story, so I don't know what's up. But the reason why Jim Gordon's in that suit is the end game pretty much concludes with both Batman and the Joker dying.
My
And,
characters are dead.
and the strange thing about this event is I'm okay with it. I love the way they pulled it off. It wasn't one of those... To me, they did... DC handled this very, very well. And they did it in a way that Marvel hasn't figured out yet. This is one thing that DC has done better than Marvel. They killed a character, and they didn't tell anybody... They do this a lot. They didn't tell anybody they're going to kill it. Like they did Damian Wayne. All of a sudden, oh shit, Damian's dead? They did with Batman Joker. All of a sudden, they're dead? And that, this issue 40 is getting a 3rd printing of it, because just by word of mouth, they killed Batman? Oh man, I gotta check this out. Not DC, but Marvel tends to make an event out of it. You got the death of Wolverine, like the event. You got the death of Deadpool, the event. You know this well in advance. We knew something was coming up with Endgame, but we didn't know to the extent. Now it was leaked about a week or so, a couple weeks before issue 40 came out, that Bruce was going to die. I picked up hints that I didn't know for a fact that was, because I tried to avoid it. But I had a feeling it was going to be Bruce dying, and I think it's very DC's very good at least killing their big characters. Now with that said, part of me feels like it's a little too soon, considering he died in 2009. It's only a few years back. I mean, it was only 6 years ago.
Yes.
So his coming back is still kind of recent. So
Well, time's different in comics because
yeah.
there's a few months here. It's a few years here. It's a few months in comics.
Yeah. And considering New 52 is a whole new universe, it gets complicated. Let's not go down that hole.
You're trying,
Throw that away.
if you're trying to explain time and the concept of time in comics, it's hard enough explaining physics in comics.
The only way to
Just
explain it, for me to explain time in comics, by Pax Americana. It's the 4th book in Multiversity, and there's a paragraph that Captain Adam says about how he perceives our dimension. Him being a 4th-dimensional being looking at a 3-dimensional being is like a 3-dimensional looking at a 2-dimensional, or one of us reading a comic. That's how he perceives time. It's a beautiful way to explain it. Just look it up. It's also my favorite book that came out last year, just because of every time I read it, I find more and more shit in it. It's like, oh, it's Watchmen. It really is. Anywho, so other than that big lead up and the explanation of everything, give me your thoughts. What did you like about the issue? What didn't you like about the issue?
I liked it.
Okay, well, what about it?
Hey,
As a whole, like, yeah, it was good.
And like, okay, same here. I liked it, and I was satisfied with it
Yeah.
because I had to look up, or like, I had to look up the quote. Uh, so just see, it's like whenever Alfred finds the note and he talks about the story of Batman, he says, "The thing we all know deep down, but don't like to admit, that the story of Batman is and always will be a tragedy."
Yeah, that is a
And
good.
so, I and the whole time throughout the story arc, I had to ask you about the suit of armor at the end,
Mm-hmm.
but how back in whenever the story started, how or like the story of Batman was like they were in a play at the very beginning, and it was a great allusion
Yeah.
to the ending.
Yeah.
And
Also,
the whole message it made sense.
I see a big metaphor for it too. So they talk about how expensive this suit of armor was. The suit of armor was part of a rigging for this theater, and is super expensive, like unheard of expensive. But they did it just to give the appearance of a god, it's something above and beyond. All right. So it's brand new, nice and shiny. At the end of it, it's just being thrown away. Just thrown away. It's all dirty, broken down, and rusted, thrown away. To me, that right there is a metaphor for Batman. Something that needed to be there, something that's expensive, lots of money, lots of effort went for it. It represented something. It got people believing in something. But in the end, it was broken and did what it had to do. And now that it's no longer needed, it's cast aside, or it dies. And to me, I think I thought that was a great little metaphor for Batman as a whole.
It's a great commentary on Batman as a character. So
Yeah.
like I said, I was satisfied with
Yeah,
the ending.
it's definitely going to go down into one of the greater Joker stories, and it's cool because this story is a companion piece. You can read this and read Death of Family, then this, and skip Zero Year, and still like be pretty good on everything. I think there's a character that appears in Zero Year that maybe you'd be kind of confused about without reading that, but aside from that, you could skip it entirely. And they're companion pieces. One's a story of love, the other one's a story of hate. And we talked about last week what Death of Family is about. How Joker's saying, "I make you stronger, they make you weak." Endgame, on the other hand, is like, "All right, you don't care about me. You want to know what it's like when I don't like you? This is what I do when I hate somebody." And that's what he does. He tears the walls down, and it is some of the most brutal Joker stuff you'll see in a Joker story. And Death of Family had some brutal stuff, but it's all just for laughs. This isn't for laughs. And
Like the way that you, I just came to the conclusion of it. Death of the Family, to bring it to theater,
is a comedy.
Is a comedy.
Yeah,
It's a very, very
exactly.
dark comedy.
You got comedy and a tragedy.
And this, yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I think Snyder in a recent interview talked about when they were writing Death of Family, they had this story in mind as well. They wanted this to be their last story in the run, but DC started doing things, and they went, okay, no, we have to do this sooner than expected. And that's why it's called Endgame and stuff like that. That's why they're doing a Death of Batman story, because they thought it was going to be their last story. We definitely see, like, well, they planned it as their last story. We definitely know they're coming back to at least issue 50. But I'm sure the way they're going, hopefully we get more Snyder Capullo team ups.
Oh yeah.
A couple little notes. The fight between Bruce and Joker, really fucking brutal. I love I love the smiley face the Joker does.
Oh yeah, with the knives in his
Yeah,
back.
cuts a grin in his back and stabs him for the eyes.
Like,
I love that. I love the fact that they used the cowl as bull horns, and Bruce gorges the Joker. Capullo said that's the only time where I wish I hadn't drawn stubby ears and went more Neil Adams, because I would love to see the ears going all the way through.
The homage to The Dark Knight.
Ooh,
Where, let's see.
I might have missed that one.
No, but like uh, this is probably the best. There's a bunch of pictures of it, but uh, this.
Oh, yeah.
The
Playing
Joker
card.
card.
Yeah, the Joker
Playing
card in the eye.
his eye,
Yeah,
as opposed to the batarang in Joker's eye.
yeah. And, I never made that connection until now. Good call. And look, I'm looking at metaphors and armors. You're like, dude, Dark Knight. So obvious. Highly recommend it when it comes out in trade. Pick it up.
Yeah.
I can almost guarantee that Snyder and Capullo are going to have an omnibus coming out. I know Jeff Johns has one. That the first part came out in February, second part's coming out in August. Also in August, Snyder and Capullo's Absolute Court of Owls is coming out. So it's going to be all 12 issues in an Absolute edition. I know, I'm probably going to buy that. Like, I need that book another time.
And your wallet's just like, no.
4K.
But yeah, I'm probably gonna pick that up. So I really can't wait to see a Snyder Capullo omnibus because it's gonna be huge. So as I was saying, off the appetizers to the main course. Here's the meat and potatoes. Age of Ultron. We're going to talk about Age of Ultron. Boom! I got the picture up for the poster. Okay, so I have this little book right here. The little book, like I mentioned earlier, I saw the movie twice. I saw it opening night with a crowd, and full of various ages, old, young, my age. And the second time I saw it is when I took these notes. The second time, it was just me and like two other people because I went on a late showing last night. It was like 10:45 was when it's supposed to start. It didn't start till 11:15, and so I didn't get home till almost 2 o'clock last night. And I took this little notebook and took notes about what I thought. So this is kind of going to be my what I'm going to use to guide us through the movie. Opening scene. There's a lot happens there. How do we feel about the opening scene? I mean, other than it's good. Oh, in case if anyone wants to know, the movie's good. Go see it. Okay, we got that out of the way.
Yeah.
Okay, we're trying to be specific here. Okay.
Very opening scene. Of course, I've read other people's reviews. I've watched other review, and the only thing, like one, I don't want to say negative side, would be storytelling wise, is all of a sudden like Iron Man's back, even though after Iron Man 3 you see him just kind of give up.
Mm-hmm.
He retires.
Yeah.
In a sense.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden in the opening scene, the whole team from the first is automatically back. There just need to be a little bit more of a setup, I guess.
This opening scene actually requires kind of a bit of setup from not only Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., because I think, from what I understand, it kind of leads up to this. At least I know the next episode has something to do with the movie. And a couple of the one shots that come with the DVDs and the after credits scene with Baron von Strucker, like, because it talks about how he gets the Loki pokey stick. So.
One stick of destiny.
Yeah. Friggin' also they also set up if you hadn't seen the end credits for friggin' I think it was the first Avengers, you wouldn't know anything about the twins. So well, that's because they're actually introduced there. So I love the big comic book moment where everyone I call it the splash page moment. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Okay, you see it in the trailer. It's a great moment. There's
I liked how leading up to that was just let's follow this person for a while.
That's something I thought it was really interesting, the way it was a very dynamic camera. You see Captain America throw his bike into a truck, and then you see Thor swoop down, and then they'll follow Thor a little bit or something like that. I mean, that's not how it goes in the movie, but it'll kind of do that. I really liked that. But with that said, sometimes the CG seemed kind of off, and you can kind of tell that wasn't actually them, and that pulled me from the experience. Oh, by the way, I saw in 3D and standard, and there really isn't much of a difference in viewing experience.
Other than how much money you shell out for it.
Yeah. Um,
Not IMAX. Big screen.
nice.
All right,
And
we
I got
got different inputs on it then.
and I got a free poster for it being the first showing.
Oh, nice.
Nice. Friggin' So there's a running gag in the movie, and it's the language gag. I that I kind of upset. That joke kind of upsets me because what's wrong about claiming language? Yeah, he's an adult. It's 21st century, but Captain America is about establishing good morals from a different time, and we curse too much in today's society. Yep, look, already hating society. Took us about an hour, but I got there. We do. I curse too much. I freely admit that I curse too much, and I think that that's part of Captain America's charm that he does grasp onto those morals, and they're poking fun at him. And I think that's kind of messed up.
Didn't think of it that way. And but you know, it's a team.
Yeah.
You just gotta pick on one guy for one little thing.
Yeah, it's just like he does that one thing. Let's all laugh at him for it. Ha 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 ha.
Just gotta get him shit for something.
Yeah, I feel like, man, that's fucked up.
Like,
Let the man live his life. Sylvania, Sokovia is the my handwriting's garbage, so I have to translate it.
Good luck.
Yeah, right. Sokovia. Now, is that the country that Doctor Doom runs?
no,
Okay, what's the country that he runs?
Latveria.
Liberia. See, I knew it was one of those non-existing but sounds legit Eastern European places.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, I thought that was a really if it was Liberia, I thought that was really cool of having that in it. But now it's just a random European place that doesn't exist and it's not near as cool.
It's over there.
Yeah, it's not America. Not important. The twins. This is something I thought was really cool. The accents. This is the first time in any appearance that they have accents, and it makes sense for them to have accents. They're gypsies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
They were raised in like Eastern Europe. Why wouldn't they have accents?
And
Guess you-
their full origin. Oh, sorry, you go, Alex.
Guess he didn't have an accent in Days of Future Past. He's
Quick
just an
silver.
American.
And if you actually think about it, the origin stories of both the twins, like no matter what, it always says they're always in. They always started out in Eastern Europe,
Mhm.
so kids growing up would adopt that accent.
Yep.
So it once again it makes sense.
Yeah.
Fun fact: both of the Quicksilvers were both in Kick-Ass.
Yeah. The new Quicksilver is Kick-Ass. The old Quicksilver was his buddy in the first movie, who the character was recast and the character becomes Ass Kicker. That's the sound of soda, by the way.
This is sound of water.
Let's see. Next on my list of things, it's very coded. It's BB Tech BW Heart, and it's the Bruce Banner Black Widow love story. That's what that means. I had to write things in the dark. So I had to keep things short, and so I can read it. That's my excuse. I'm sticking to it. I love it. I absolutely think it's great. I'm so happy for it. Honestly.
It seemed a little weird for me. But
Really?
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird because you're like, where the hell's Betty in all this?
Oh, that's the other thing too. But it just seemed, I don't know, like it didn't. For me, I guess I just needed more build up to it.
It does seem kind of sudden, and there's a lot of stuff that's kind of like between the lines, stuff that's implied. And I understand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I did understand the whole fact that it would have been like she's the tamer for the Hulk.
Yeah.
So that part that made sense.
Yeah.
So I guess it was just all of a sudden they just throw it at you. That was the only problem I had with it.
Go ahead, Alex.
No, that was
Okay.
just great.
To me, it's I think it's very important that, like, because the Hulk is one of those characters, everyone loves him in the Avengers movies, but his movies by themselves aren't that great. And so it's important to have the Hulk have something to grasp onto, have something that seems important to him, and have reason for him to exist other than to smash. And not innuendo wise either. I think it's very important he has a driving factor as to why he's afraid to Hulk, like, to go green, because like I said, like he's afraid that to get in a relationship because if he gets angry, a backhand would kill somebody. I mean, even the slight, like if he just gets set off, he couldn't have kids. He would kill them on accident. I mean, and I don't know. I think I really like the relationship. I really like. It was one of those things like, oh man, it's awesome. I really like the awkwardness between him and how upfront she is about it.
And then how he has to really isolate himself.
Yeah, like I think it's more that I relate to it than anything, because me being a loner and shit, I kind of get it. It's like, yeah, go you.
You go, Hulk.
Yeah. One of my absolute favorite things in the entire movie is the fact that they're pulling from their universe, and they're pulling from it very well. Falcon, War Machine make great appearances in this movie, and it's just anyone that's, hey, what's up, we're here. No, they have good appearances in this movie, and I think to me,
Especially the ending.
yes, to me, I think it's very important for them. Like Marvel's doing a very good job at establishing. Yes, our characters will hop around. Our characters don't get along. Our characters, like, they are characters. They are people. They exist. They have conversations. They refer to earlier movies. There's a conversation between Falcon and Captain America about them still hunting down the Winter Soldier. They can't find him. He fucking disappeared.
And they even acknowledged Pepper Potts and Jane Foster.
Yeah,
they could be here, but they're off on their
yeah,
own.
they explain.
We're saving up their contracts.
Yeah,
They're busy doing something else.
Yeah, they at least give you a written reason why they're not in the movie.
Oh, but also they add depth because, like, War Machine's going around the party saying, telling his little story. So it's like,
yeah,
right,
he's doing
on screen, but he's actually working.
Yeah, and it's great. And he's obviously an agent of the government, but we're not going to go into details of that.
Whatever.
Friggin' a little note, like a little touch of detail that I really liked. A lot of the characters, their costumes are based off kind of their actual, like, their superhero costumes. You can kind of see it in the way Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver dress. One of the more subtle ones was War Machine, not in the costume. He wore a gray suit. I thought that was brilliant. Like, oh, yeah, War Machine. Something I didn't notice until the second time I watched it. It just makes sense, though. A little fun fact for the movie is Scarlett Johansson was pregnant when filming the movie. And so they filmed all her stuff really early on. And it's hard to tell she's pregnant. The only real giveaway is her boobs. She has really nice boobs in this movie. I just gotta get this out. There's a little note. All it says is ScarJo boobs. Because, like, yeah, man, they look good, this movie. I don't know what it is. Oh, that little moment between Banner and her where he apologizes. I think it's adorable. Uh-oh. You're coming in broken, man.
Screen froze.
Moving forward, they're setting up for things. It's very subtly. They're setting things up for Civil War. You already begin to see how Stark and Rogers clash on ideals, and how they think things should be done very differently. And we lost Alex.
Put a pause on the recording.
Well, there's no real doing that. We'll get him back. Because I think he can hear us. You hear us still?
Yeah, I can still hear you.
Okay. Yeah, you can see how they don't get along on actually kind of quite a few things. I think that's very important for Civil War, at least. Did you pick up on that too?
Yeah, there was obviously the the clashing of heads of Cap and Iron Man. That whole fight just in Stark Tower to bring a Vision to life, and so you could tell that the team was divided.
Yeah, and I think that's very important. Not just because the characters, like, but for Civil War, like, I mean, even when it came to like, that's the whole reason why Stark didn't tell anybody except for Banner about doing Ultron is because he already knew how that would go. He already knew Cap as the leader. He already knew how the leader would go. No, don't do that. And he's like, no, we have to do this in secret. And I think they don't set a lot of stuff up for Civil War, but it's small things like that that's preparing for it.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing setting up for future movies, Andy Serkis.
Yes, I have that as a note too. I'm coming to that.
I'm trying to play the movie in my head so I can pick up on other little things that I noted.
Don't worry, I noted everything in the order that happened in the movie, so when we get to it, it'll come to your mind.
Right now we're at the party scene.
Yeah. Actually, we're at the Ultron scene is what we're at. Okay. Other than his first appearance and how he actually, your opinion on Ultron right now. Just go ahead. How do you feel about the character?
I like him. He has a point to humanity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'll explain why in a second.
And I also liked him. For the movie, I felt he was portrayed a little different than in the comics, but I can justify it by saying in comics and also on Earth's Mightiest Heroes, you have him this soulless machine, which is pretty much that is his character. Now for this blockbuster, you can't have, or you could have just a soulless machine like HAL 9000, but it would be a lot harder to have him actually act out in this fun movie, or in this the fun movie universe. So having him have a little bit of humor, it made sense.
I liked him for several reasons. One, and again, I can justify, he wasn't the stereotypical, I'm evil for the sake of being evil. No, he had a reason, and his reasoning made sense. Like, you go, yeah, I can understand that. I mean, it's flawed thinking, but I can understand it. He's right to a degree. But the reason why I like him is what he's supposed to be. He is the Nega Stark. He is... If Tony Stark did this, this would be the bad him, and this would be the good him. Ultron's the bad him. And Ultron is supposed to be a dark version of Hank Pym, because Hank Pym ain't in this and didn't make Ultron. They shifted it to Tony Stark. That's why Ultron has a lot of Stark's characteristic. He like, even at one point he beats Tony Stark to a joke. And when Claw mentions that he reminded him of Stark, he gets upset about it because he doesn't want to be like Stark, even though he is Stark. I think it's very important to the character.
Jeez, didn't mean to cut off your arm.
Yeah, and then when he does something bad, he's like, "Oh no!" Like he may sound like he's being sarcastic, but he's genuinely like he didn't mean to do it. He's kind of upset that he did it. Like, so, like, even the corpse and stuff like that, I think he's very genuine. The very end when he's like, "Oh, for the love of God," that line I fucking loved, because that's a Tony Stark line. It really is, because you can hear Stark say that, and that's why I like the character, because it's Nega Stark. Speak, Alex. I know you want to.
Well, fun Easter egg that I noticed was whenever he was getting angry at Claw, like, you could see the sides of his cheeks going in.
Yeah.
And that's a reference.
Yeah.
To his first model, like his first robotic model.
Mm-hmm. That's something, like, when he gets angry about things, his speaker cheeks do go in, and you see the glowing from the cheeks and stuff, and it looks really cool. I liked how they had him upgrade throughout the movie, because in the comics he upgrades, like, every time he pops up, he's Ultron 6, Ultron 8, etc. He's bigger and more powerful, and they did all that comic history essentially in one movie. I think he changes 4 or 5 times by the end of the movie.
Ooh, to touch on that also, because speaking of appearances, I've got like 2 Easter eggs that are in there. Like whenever he first shows up at the end of the party, I think the model number of the Iron Legion that he is like number 5, alluding to Ultron 5,
which is the first walking one, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And whenever he actually leaves the party and he's in like whenever I forgot the country name.
So
Over there.
Sokovia.
It's called over there.
Sokovia. That's it.
Sokovia. Yeah. Whenever
why I
you
wrote it
first see
down.
him in Sokovia, like sitting on that throne, he's wearing a crimson cowl, which was the character when he first showed up, and so.
Huh.
Like whenever I saw him just sitting there and I saw like this red cloak on him, I'm like, they're doing it. Like that's what
They're doing the
I
thing.
was like, it's like I got that reference, and that was the one reference I was really hoping for. So I was pretty proud of that. And then yeah, he also progressively builds better body armors
Yeah.
throughout the movie.
As a whole, I really like the character. I like the humor because again, it's what if you had evil Tony Stark? That's essentially what it is, an evil Iron Man, and I thoroughly like that idea. So we mentioned it a second ago. Ulysses Claw is in this movie. Okay, Andy Serkis character. One, I love the design of the character because one, I don't know what he looks like. So to me, this is how he's always going to look. I love his haircut and beard. If I could do that, I would grow that, but I can't.
But you would keep your arm.
Oh yeah. I like the way the character is portrayed. He's very confident in what he does. He knows what he's doing. That character is very important. Like he's a setup character. A lot of people don't know this unless you follow the comics. I know he's a Ant-Man villain, but he's going to be the villain of Black Panther. Now,
So that too.
he's going to be the villain of Black Panther, and a big chunk of the movie, especially the chunk is in the country which Black Panther is from. So we probably had a Black Panther cameo and didn't even freaking know it yet. So I find that very interesting. That whole Hulkbuster. Actually, I have absolutely no note about the Hulkbuster Hulk fight, other than the fact that it takes place in the city from which, in the country which Black Panther's from.
Wakanda.
Wakanda.
But the little Hulkbuster, it's like they called it Veronica.
Yeah.
Guess why it's called that?
Why is it called that, Alex?
What's Hulk's girlfriend's name?
Betty Ross.
And what's the machine is called Veronica? Who else has two girls named Betty and Veronica?
Archie. Okay. Nice.
That was a nice little like subtle Easter egg.
That is a good one. Did you put that together, or did you look that one up?
At first I was like, why is it called Veronica? Then I looked online and I was like,
Out of sheer
it's an Archie.
curiosity, you looked it up. I'll give you that. 50-50. Okay, we just mentioned it. We're at the... Well, before we talk about the fight between Hulk and Iron Man. At this point, we've introduced... we very quickly skipped over. We introduced twins, Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch. We haven't talked about them other than they have good accents. How do you like their powers? How do you think... how do you like the way they're perceived? Any complaints about them?
Other than the fact that like they're both good, it's just the legal side of things where Marvel,
really.
Yeah, you can't say mutants, and
They're just miracle experiments.
The enhanced. Is what I think they call them.
that's
The enhanced.
really how it,
One day, maybe, but not now.
I thought it was weird they started out with this when you first see Wanda start attacking, like when she comes after Captain America and Tony Stark. She moves very erratically. Did you notice that? She moves very fast and stuff, like almost like you see in horror movies. They don't keep that up. They only like right after that, right after she does Captain America the first time, you don't ever see that again. I find that upsetting because you can have real fun with that. I thought it was really cool. She always did like crazy things with her hands when she casts spells and stuff like that. Well, spells.
Well, it could be magic. You don't know.
Yeah.
Could be.
She's just weird, as they put it.
It could be magic. Like there's a rumor she might be in Doctor Strange.
That'd be kind of cool. Actually, that'd be really cool. So I find it very like how they did that. I was looking up the actress. I didn't realize that was the Olsen twins' younger sister.
Yeah, it's the one you rarely see.
Not now. Everyone's going to know her.
now she's the successful one.
Oh no, trust
And they're
me.
asking her
No,
for help.
no, you say that. But look up the Olsen Twins network. They're some of the most wealthiest people in the world, those two, because of the company they run. It's ridiculous. But that's neither here nor now. I like the personalities. I thought they were great because they had great motives. You can understand why they hate Tony Stark, and why they were trying to do what they were doing. Okay.
The whole mind control with the whole team.
Well, it's not even mind control. It's just it's making them see things they don't want, like making them see nightmares and dreams, which I think is really interesting.
And I like Hawkeye's reaction.
No,
like, I did the whole mind thing. I don't want to do it again.
It's not my bag.
Speaking of, I really liked Hawkeye in this.
Yes, this it's something I was going to come back to. Hawkeye's what they did with Hawkeye was very important, and it was Joss Whedon has a kind of a trope. They were setting up everything they could to kill Hawkeye, and they didn't. When we get to the death scene, we'll talk about it. But and you could second time I'm viewing it, they set it up as a red herring, and you should be able to see it a mile away. Even watching the second time, knowing what happens, you're like, oh, it's sort of there, but you still feel like because they established his family, they established the type of person he is outside the Avengers and stuff like that, and how likable of a guy is, how he's the comment of him, we're on a floating city fighting robots and I have a bow and arrow. None of this makes sense. That comment alone shows the type of person he is. I love it. I think it's very important. He's the audience in this one. I think it's great what they've done with the character. But with that said, it's going to be hard for them to do a Hawkeye movie that's based off Matt Fraction's Hawkeye because of what they set up. But god damn, I'd love to see that movie.
Yeah.
They're saying the tracksuit mafia. Those guys. Bro. He's coming this way, bro.
That's another recommended read.
The omnibus comes out here soon. Well, whenever the last issue ever comes out.
If it comes out.
Oh, yeah, it's coming out. It got postponed another month, but it's coming out. Aja and Fraction are like, we don't know why. Honestly, we don't know why. But yes, what they did with Hawkeye is really good.
Next plot point.
Veronica versus the Hulk. Awesome. Next. Well, there's so much in this fight scene that even though we're this is spoilers and stuff like that, you've seen it, and so you know all the cool stuff. I mean, clearly they thought of everything. Even the whole the spring-loaded arm gag, that awesome. And then when he catches it and then goes in and clamps down, would have oh, that's brilliant. Of course that he would do that.
Oh man, my favorite part was the part where Iron Man punches Hulk, and Hulk just spits the tooth out. And I was like, sorry.
I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry.
I love that just because that's how whenever I play video games and my character's going up this huge boss, and I just go up and the boss either counters it or just blocks it. I'm just like, I'm sorry. I'm like, please don't hurt me.
Oh my. Yeah, that fight's awesome.
I can relate to that, I guess.
Yeah.
That sense.
So from this point on, my notes get very sparse because I guess it's mostly about the Vision and what he represents, and it talks about the Vision from this point on. So if you guys got anything that you want to chime in about, any ideas and stuff like that before I start talking about these interesting running themes in the Vision, here's the time.
Hawkeye's wife is Velma.
Velma?
Yeah, from the live-action Scooby-Doo movie.
Huh. Interesting. I hadn't looked that up. I really do like what they did with Hawkeye. I think it's great what they did with the Hawkeye. Hawkeye.
I'm trying to think of Easter eggs that have appeared between the beginning and now.
Well, and also this is where Thor had those visions.
Yeah.
That subplot seems kind of off.
Well, it's because the movie was a little longer, and they cut some stuff because the movie's 2.5 hours long to begin with. It is the longest Marvel movie to date. if you don't count Daredevil as one long ass movie. And you know a lot of stuff got cut because it is weird because he leaves, all of a sudden he's in England. Him and the professor leave, all of a sudden they're in a cave, and then all of a sudden they come back and it's just Thor by himself. It's really strange, and you just know that they cut more of that.
Ragnarok.
Yeah. That's what that is. That's setting up Ragnarok, and we're like, that's something that Thor was the living version of exposition and setup. Everything he said was exposition of some sort. Like all of a sudden, they start explaining Infinity Gems and stuff, which makes me question: how the hell does Thor know about the Guardians of the Galaxy's Infinity Gem?
The end of
look over there.
well, let's see. The Asgardians did have they sent the ether to the Collector.
Oh, okay. See, was that in the end of
That was the end of Thor, the Dark
okay.
World.
I've only seen it once. It was in theaters, so whenever it was in theaters, it's been a while since I've seen it. Okay, that makes sense. Never mind then.
It helped that I watched a few of the movies right before.
Yeah. I know one of the one shots that Marvel does retconned something, so it could work. I can't remember what it was though.
I think the only one that really retconned was the thing with the Mandarin.
Yeah, that's it. The Mandarin retcon.
There is a real Mandarin now.
Yeah.
Happy internet.
Yeah, because doesn't Trevor get assassinated for impersonating the Mandarin?
It's not really assassinated. It's
He's brought in.
he is introduced to the Mandarin.
Do they show him?
No.
Okay, because I haven't seen the one shot. So, next on my little book of notes is the term monster is thrown around a lot. I'm a monster. You're a monster. She's a monster. We're all monsters, right? And it is. It's thrown around a lot in this movie. And part of this movie is a Frankenstein type story, especially when it comes to the Vision, to the point that you got two mad scientists putting together a body, doing something, an act against morality. No one wants to happen, and then suddenly lightning strikes it and brings it to life. That's Frankenstein in a nutshell. And then it turns out to be a peaceful beast, but then people tempt it, and he gets all angry and destroys shit. There you go. I think it's really interesting that they went with that motif.
Yeah.
Again, like I said, until I pointed it out, you probably didn't even realize it, right? Like I said, the second time I watched it by myself, so I got very analytical about it. I thought that was really interesting. I also noticed that the Vision's color scheme is both of Banner and Stark. He's gold, green, and red.
Oh, something else. Another Easter egg I found online. If you look in Iron Man 3, when Maya, Pepper Potts, and Tony are talking in his house, you can see a stocking in the background for Jarvis, which is red, yellow, and green.
That's awesome.
Interesting.
Wow, that's a clear setup. Friggin'
foreshadowing.
Oh yeah, friggin' little note. They alluded to Captain America's kooky crew. You know what that is?
No.
Captain America's kooky crew is a little subdivision of the Avengers, which is Captain America, Quicksilver, Scarlet Witch, and Hawkeye, who were the only people on the floating island at one point.
Interesting.
Yeah. Again,
something else. Some other Easter egg I noticed, like when Ultron's monologuing, he said like they started out as invaders, like possible reference.
Yeah.
Because that's how the Marvel Universe started, with Namor, the robotic Human Torch, Bucky, and Captain America.
Fair enough.
Oh, yeah. Let's see. One thing that I was hoping for, and it might have just been like cut out because of due to editing, but I was kind of hoping, since in the comics, the body model of the Vision is based on, oh man, I'm drawing a blank.
Jim Hammond.
No, or it's Jim Hammond and
It's the mind of Simon
Yeah,
Williams.
Simon Williams, also known as Wonder Man.
Hmm.
So I was kind of hoping like for a Simon Williams kind of like appearance or just like a piece of paper saying, "Hey," like some kind of like a tiny Easter egg.
Some people suspect that Dr. Chow's father is going to be coming up. I don't know who the character is, but it's some dude with the last name Chow. So if you like, again, not Marvel guy. So if you know of who that is, go you.
I know it's a reference to like a Marvel character who's Amadeus Chow. Like I know he's like the smartest kid in the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
Like I don't know too much besides that.
Yeah, I know the name's familiar, but I can't remember specifics.
See. My next
Oh,
note is
fun.
about the Vision. So since we're talking about the Vision, what do you think of the Vision?
Awesome.
Yeah,
Oh, that's great.
everything about him is
Uh,
awesome.
Something
No one knows from the talk.
first me. When he lifts the hammer, he's like, "Here, well, let's go to battle." Like someone in my a woman in my eyes like, "What?"
See, that line
That's
get like
hilarious.
that gets so many like different. I've heard laughters, I've heard and oh snaps. So I've heard gas, laughter, oh snaps. So like I've heard three different like, and that was just in my big crowd I was with. Um,
For the most part, the reaction was like a mix between gasp and laugh because it was just so casual.
yeah, and Thor was like, that didn't happen. You're so like, what'd I do?
It's like, right, so he just takes it.
Yeah, I really love the interaction. Thor actually had some of the best interaction with other characters, I think. From
Oh,
Yeah.
him and Tony Stark using the shield and the hammer together. They use it two different ways too. It's great. And
Oh,
between
When
the way he
Clark just
interacts with,
holds up the shield and then he hits it.
yeah, that's awesome. The way he
yeah,
interacts with the
the
Vision,
Cap and Thor team ups, those are my favorite. Like, they had like the best power moves.
yeah. So like I really like the way they interacted a lot. But Vision, yeah, Vision, everything about him was cool. I liked how you couldn't trust him. You couldn't trust him at first. I liked how you bug in here. I liked how he immediately upon birth he's floating, so he established that the character can fly. I like how he can immediately he starts changing the way he looks from what he's born to what he wants to look like, or what he thinks he should look like to other people. I like how he sees Thor's cape, and so he decides to have a cape because like
It's like, that's pretty badass.
yeah, I mean, he like just I have a cape now. um, I like how he's very self-conscious. I really like how the voice actor of Jarvis, his patience paid off. Of
yeah.
playing Jarvis all these years, and he finally gets to appear because that's a makeup job. It's not digital. Well, for the most part, it's a makeup job.
Yeah.
But it's great to see him on screen. His presence is interesting. I love this setup, like the fact they pick up the hammer. I love how that paid off in the end.
And I'm running out of things to say. Whoa.
I love how he's sympathetic towards Ultron. He's like, Ultron, I don't want to kill Ultron. I mean, but he has to be stopped, or worse things will happen.
Yeah.
I mean, he understands morality in an interesting way. I like how the fact that they go, he is clearly worthy, so he can keep the Infinity Stone until now, which implies he's going to die later. They're going to kill him off fairly quickly, or do something that will seriously hurt him. Because if the stone's what keeping him alive, and they're about to pull it from his head for the gem or for the gauntlet, what's going to happen to him when they pull that out?
Also, something else I noticed, like when the city's collapsing and Scarlet Witch is still there.
Yep.
Like Vision is the one that goes after her.
Yeah,
Setting up their romance.
Yeah, and so you can already like the way from the moment she touches the canister, you can already see the seeds of that relationship being developed. Like that second,
Yeah.
she immediately starts kind of sympathizing for him. And when she first sees him, she just stares at him. Like immediately, you can see the connection they have. And so when he's carrying her, and the way she looks at him is like, yeah.
We're making comic stuff happen.
Sort of a segue now. Like I really liked whenever they actually lifted the city up, because that kind of or for me, it actually built up believability for the audience to accept Inhumans, because part of the Inhumans lore is the floating city of Adelan. And so I think, for Inhumans, because a lot of like, if they're not going to do an origin, they're going to have to do a lot of explaining. And so having this city just be floating, or they explain it how it's doing it better, I think they're able to actually kind of make it more believable in, like, Inhumans.
Okay, here's my one problem about that floating city deal. Okay, Ultron lifts the city, I accept that. Ultron drops the city, I accept that. City explodes, I accept all this. What I don't accept is they pulled it from ground, from part of a city, in a forest area. When it explodes, it's over water. Where the fuck did the water come from?
Wizard did it.
Weather? Really?
A wizard.
Oh, I thought you said Whizzer. Like Whizzer was the original Quicksilver Scarlet Witch father. Like, wow, that's a nice reference, but.
But it could have been just like the city picked up and then
the only thing I could explain is that I got moved somehow. But aside from that, like, I have no qualms with the movie really. And I mean, when I watched it watching it with an audience I got to see something I haven't seen in a very long time, and that was movie magic at its finest. I saw people's emotions and doing this number. I saw gas, oh snaps, laughters, people like upset because we didn't talk. We skipped right over the part when we talked about how they were setting up Hawkeye to die. Quicksilver dies. He gets shot up, and which we were talking about how Marvel deaths don't matter. I was really upset about this death. They gave me the blood. I don't want the blood. I want to see more Quicksilver. So I hope they bring him back, because like I didn't even accept that he died the first time I saw it. I was like, all right, he's injured. All right, he's injured. They can save him. They have that machine. They can save him. And he wasn't at the end. I'm like, oh my god, they actually killed the guy. Oh no.
Although I do have a theory.
They don't give the guy a funeral. You don't see him again, which I find that kind of strange. So maybe he isn't dead. I hope he isn't dead, because I want to see him back. I mean, that was the biggest reason why the actor didn't want to do the movie, is because he didn't want to get stuck with the lengthy Marvel contract. But I want to see him back. He was awesome.
And that leads to my theory. Like, with the rumor that Scarlet Witch could be in Doctor Strange, like, she could have heard of this object that's really an Infinity Stone. That could either be the Soul Gem or the Time Gem. She's like, I want to get my brother back. I really want him. I miss him. And say she gets the Time Gem, I can go back. I can save him with my spell that I just learned. And then with the Soul Gem, she's like, my brother's soul is in this gem. I can find him. I know it. And then Doctor Strange is there saying, no, it's better if he's dead. I'm sorry, but really, it's just not good right now.
Yeah.
Right now, though, I think so far, I guess the story is that the Soul Gem is the thing that's in the Vision.
That's the Mind Gem.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the Mind Gem?
Yeah.
All in all.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Because so I had a Soul Gem.
And my other theory is that the Soul Gem could be with Adam Warlock, who could be in Guardians 2. Yeah.
That's my theory.
Well, from my understanding, Guardians 2 is going to be about Quill's father.
Yeah.
Or the search for his father. That angel-like being.
There's a rumor that Michael Korvac could be the villain.
Michael Korvac would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Just because of what I know from Earth's Mightiest Hero, that'd be kind of cool.
Also making Kevin Bacon.
Why Kevin Bacon?
That would work.
I mean, yeah, it'd work, but why Kevin Bacon?
He was adopted from a different time also.
I'll give you that.
He grew up.
He's in everything.
Plus, it's a reference sandwich.
Yeah. I would just since like they are mentioning Kevin Bacon and Guardians.
Oh, they do.
Just
Yeah,
like
you're
Kevin
right.
Bacon.
Okay, yeah, now I get that joke. I get that reference now. That would be funny.
Oh, one thing I was hoping for was, even though it might have, we were like, for the final battle in the city, even though we were following like 9 different characters, and to like throw in more confusion, like I would have wanted, I wanted to see Falcon come back in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the fact
actually,
that War Machine came back in, but they give an in-movie reason why he's not there. He doesn't want to be part of that stuff. Not yet, at least. Like, I mean, him and Cap are talking. He's like, no, seriously, you can handle that. I'm good. I'm good with hunting down the Winter Soldier.
And then
War
there
Machine's
was
all
also-
about that. That's why when he shows up, it makes sense.
And then they were gonna have Captain Marvel be in there, but then, like I said, that would have been too many. That might have actually pushed over the limit of like keeping up with characters.
Well, see,
Oh, and also they didn't want to just introduce her and not give her
Yeah.
an origin or give her character.
see, I think that's going to be the biggest problem with Infinity War. If they keep the group we have now and the people they're adding, which could be the Guardians, Strange, some of the Inhumans. I mean, if they keep on adding all these characters, you know they're going to be part of this Infinity War. I mean, there's a reason why it's called war. That's a lot of characters. I understand to me that's why they're dividing into 2 movies. There's a lot of characters going on at once. It'll be hard for it not to be convoluted and have everyone still feel like they have the same amount of time. I think that's the biggest and best thing that this movie did was the fact that they had all these characters and you did not feel like you got too much of one. It didn't become the Tony Stark show. It didn't become the Mighty Thor, which I love that he says, "I'm mighty," by the way. You guys catch that? For I am mighty. It doesn't become... it does not become...
my theory of what... Well, you finish.
No, I'm saying it does not become like isolated on one character. You get a bit of everybody's character. I think Hawkeye actually got, to me, I think Hawkeye got the biggest spotlight, if anybody, because you got to see inside his life. But aside from that, it was very well balanced with the characters. So, except for when Thor disappeared for 30 minutes in the movie and all of a sudden he comes back.
Yeah, what my theory for what Infinity War could be is like what they did with the new Avengers and Avengers during Infinity. Like, Avengers focused on Steve Rogers and a bunch of other heroes fighting Thanos' army in space, while Tony Stark stayed on Earth with the Illuminati and battled Thanos' army on Earth. So they could do that with the Marvel Universe. Like, you could have the Defenders staying on Earth, and you could have Tony Stark helping out with a bunch of other Earth-based heroes, while all the other cosmic heroes are off fighting Thanos.
Good work. Like I said, it's going to be interesting because the guys behind the Captain America movies are going to do Infinity War. It's going to be strange for them to... it's going to be difficult for them to get the pacing right and everything. I want to see how they pull it off. Because I can tell this is one of those movies being split into 2 parts, not because they're trying to get more money for one movie. It's because this is one of those movies it has to be 2 parts. It's so grand that there's so much to be told with so many characters. Yeah. It would be impossible to put in one movie and you'd be able to easily follow it. I can guarantee these movies are going to be hard to follow to begin with.
Yeah.
So. Oh. There we go.
Next plot point.
Oh, that's really the end of my notes. I don't have anything else other than that. Because other than the fact that being in a theater with people, I got to see that movie Magic, and I forgot what I was like to experience such ups and downs of the movie. I really loved it, and it makes me remember why I like movies. Because it's been a long time since I've gone to theaters. I think the last movie I saw in theaters... Did I see a movie with you in theaters before I left, Colin? I don't think I did.
Not with me, but let's see.
I think the last movie I saw was Fury, which that's a downer of a movie to go see by yourself.
Suicide Squad. It's a Suicide Squad tie-in. Same director.
Yep. Who was in the Navy, by the way?
For home.
Sonar Tech 3rd class. Stick that in your pipe and smoke it. But yeah, I forgot what movie magic was, and it's something I really missed. I'm so happy I got to experience it again. I think the last time I got to see that kind of magic was when I saw Guardians in theater, which was great. Saw it twice.
That was also the last midnight release that we've seen.
Yeah.
Same here. IMAX, and I got a poster for it.
Nice. What do you?
That's why I choose to go to the IMAX. I get posters for it.
Fair enough. Let's go back all the way to the beginning to previews. What previews you guys get? I got Captain America, not Captain America. I got Fantastic Four, Star Wars, Jurassic Park are the ones of note. Oh, and Pixel, which all Pixel is a 2-hour version of a 15-minute Futurama segment.
Yeah.
And I'm going, Futurama did it, and they probably did it better. So I'm not going to see it out of spite.
Well, with me, since I saw it on IMAX, I got like a 7-minute preview of Tomorrowland.
Yeah,
It's that Brad Bird movie.
Yeah, the second one I got, and when I saw the standard definition of the movie, I got was it 7 minutes? The one with the fight scene?
Well, yeah, for me, I saw it on IMAX. I don't know if you did. Since it's also getting a big IMAX release, we got, because when I went to go see another movie there, and at the IMAX screen, I got like a 7-minute preview of Into Darkness. I don't remember which movie it was. Oh, Desolation of Smog, I think.
Schmaug.
No.
But yeah, I had Tomorrowland too as well. It was really good. Like the fight scene was really well done, like with the portal and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like the standard version and the 3D version had two different trailers, which was really strange. I like the Star Wars trailer. I got it like with the 3D version. Like I like the Star Wars trailer to begin with, but the Star Wars trailer in 3D, yeah, like full screen 3D, yeah.
Better IMAX.
Because when
IMAX 3D?
I saw it just in regular. I saw the regular showing. I also had a trailer for Jurassic World.
Yeah, Jurassic World too. I sent a message to you when I watched I think one of the showings I went. I hope they don't do this. I think they're going to be very gimmicky about the 3D, and I really hope they don't. I mean, right now I'm feeling like I am about Jurassic World to begin with, but if they make a gimmicky 3D, I'll be very upset. I don't like gimmicky 3D. I like. There's a reason why the 3D in Avatar looks so good, is because they weren't.
It's over there.
Yeah, it was just one of those things that was in the movie. Like it just gave the movie depth and stuff like that. And it was also shot native in 3D. It was shot in 3D. That's one reason why it looks so damn good. Movies that do a post filming 3D conversion don't look near as good with 3D, and I feel like they're forcing it on you, like, oh yeah, by the way, we're in 3D. And like there were a couple of shots in the trailer that really irked me. One was the claw scene where it goes to the roof of the car. I went, no. Yeah. And another one was when the I don't know.
Jumped out.
Yeah.
Jumped the water.
Yeah, that one. I'm glad you knew exactly where I was going with it. And I want to say it's a plesiosaur, but I know that's not right. But there's a lot of like mouths coming at the screen and stuff like that. I'm like, oh no, they're going to gimmick it up. I don't want this.
Yeah, there's going to be raptors jumping out at you. And I could see that, but I hope they don't also.
Yeah. So
one trailer of note that I got was I got the teaser for Batman v Superman.
Oh, you got the teaser? Nice. I didn't get him on anyone.
Yeah.
What's that like?
Unfortunately, I didn't get the Ant-Man.
I got the Ant-Man, both of them.
That was the trade-off, though. I got the Fantastic Four and Batman v Superman, but no Ant-Man. But yeah, it was pretty good at IMAX.
You will. I like that trailer.
I guess to kind of conclude it, how would you guys rate this movie?
To me, this is one of the best things Marvel's put out in a long time. I like most Marvel movies anyway. The Marvel Cinematic Universe stuff, not movies that have Marvel characters. Big difference. I really enjoyed it. I call it an 8.5 out of 10, easily. I mean, it has its flaws, but it's good. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Do we want to talk about the one post-credit scene?
I mean,
How brief it was.
Yeah. And I just also remembered a small, very small Easter egg.
the one in Thor.
No, the it's at the very end whenever what was it? Like Tony's mixing, or he's gonna put in the new Friday AI system.
Yeah.
On the cards, it says like Friday. That's a name to like one of the other AIs that he's had. But on another card in the background, it said Jocasta, which is going more in depth for Ultron. Was one of the plot points was sort of like the Bride of Frankenstein for him, where he had taken the mind of Janet Van Dyne, or the Wasp, and built this android. So it was more of like a female version of the Vision.
Nice.
So I think that's about as far as they'll take the character.
Yeah.
Just,
Still floppy disk.
just so they don't, just so they don't like oversaturate us with like so many characters in these movies.
I've been meaning to talk to you guys about the ending. Tony, like it's official. He's done. He's done now. I find that very interesting. He say he just kind of wants to do a Hawkeye and just kind of live his own out away from everyone and try not to get involved with anything. He's stepping down from the Avengers and all that stuff, and it's very subtly played. He doesn't they don't even make a big deal. It's just kind of casual, like, yeah, I'm not doing this no more. Do you think that will be a big plot point in Civil War? Because to me, I feel like that's setting up stuff for Civil War.
Yeah.
I think that he's probably going to go into politics or something like that.
Like, it could be like, I saw the error of my ways. Like, I'm trying to change, Steve. You have to let me change.
Yeah.
Well, now I'm just even more excited for after seeing the new Avengers, like that whole scene at the end.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really excited for Captain America's Civil War now.
Yeah, it's a good chance that most of them are going. It's very easy. You can definitely see Falcon going to be in the new Captain America. I can see that little group right there appearing in Civil War. I mean, I can see everyone appearing in Civil War. They're also setting up by removing Thor and Hulk from the picture. They're very subtle about it because I understand. I know what happens in Civil War. Hulk's not in Civil War, and neither is Thor. It's a robot Thor is in it, and so they could set. I can't remember who they can use as the robot Thor, but they're setting it up to where that they're out of the picture for the story, which is good because you have who knows where Bruce Banner is, and then you have Thor investigating the Ragnarok stuff. So, which makes me bring up one I saw
post-credit scene.
That post-credit scene, yeah. All right, it's setting up the next stuff, and that's what my point is I'm about to make is the cinematic universe, like this movie, establishes a lot of things, and a lot of things establish this. What they've done is essentially made a universe that the movies inside themselves have a beginning, middle, and end, but the story itself doesn't end, which is an interesting thing that they're doing. I'm beginning to see the DC universe where things they're very well interconnected, and the idea is, what if other movies started doing this? Like, I mean, with these thickly woven worlds and stuff like that. What does that mean? Could be good, could be bad. Who knows? But I think it's really interesting that everything that's coming out in the Marvel universe is actually setting up Infinity Wars. So, like, no matter how you look at it, everything is pointing to that direction.
One thing I did know.
Go ahead.
I know, he froze.
Oh no!
One thing I did notice was... damn it.
We can hear you. Just speak.
Okay. Well, anyway, back. One thing I did notice. Do you know the Easter egg that there's an Infinity Gauntlet in Thor?
Yeah, it's in the background and one of the bolts.
Yeah. And what side? What side of the hand is it?
The right hand side, I think.
And what hand did Thanos use at the end?
I'm
He
going
grabbed
to.
it with his left.
Meaning,
There's two of them.
there's two of them.
Or they goofed. I'm gonna go with they goofed.
No, Kevin Feige, like he said that there's two of them.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
It said it, so it's canon.
Damn you, Kevin Feige. Friggin' yeah, that is interesting.
But yeah, I'd give the movie an 8. Like, if the DVD, like, there's a rumor that it's going to be an extended cut, and which will add the scenes back in.
Oh yeah, I mean,
if it's the whole extended version, like, it'll fix some of the things that I had
yeah.
problems with.
Which means Loki's scene will come
But
back in
I'd
because
say
Loki
it's-
did have a scene.
I don't know. Like I was talking to some of my friends, and I told them like I'm gonna have a new system of rating movies, just because like all these other like we were talking about how other people have rated it, sounds like oh it's an 8 or it's a 10, or there's been some negative reviews of it, but we were since I was talking to these with some of my classmates at an animation school, we're like they're thinking about it from a movie standpoint,
Yeah,
or like artistic.
yeah.
So
They're
it's
looking at it
more-
as a film. They're not looking at it as a story or anything like that. Is that what you're saying? Like they're not looking at it
Yeah.
for what it is, which is a comic book, a moving comic book.
And so it's like you can like I definitely agree with some of the negative things that have been said about it. Like for me, there were like it was almost too much characters to follow, so there was a bit of rearranging, but I still liked it. And overall, it was a fun movie.
Yes.
I really loved it.
Yeah,
So
and
I agree with you guys. It is
again,
an 8.
that's what I mean by the movie magic. It was fun. It was engaging. The crowd had a good time. You don't see that anymore. A bunch of people having a good time, and that's why I think to me that's why the Marvel movies are so successful, because they engage you. You have a good time. You feel good after leaving it. You know what that reminds me of? The '90s. Remember Independence Day? That movie's when you think about it, that shouldn't be as a fun, happy, go lucky movie as it is, because it's about the end of the world. A lot of people die in that movie, but you have a good time. You love every bit of it. Volcano, not that great of a movie, but it's still a fun movie. Dante's Peak, again, not that great movie, fun. Armageddon, bad idea, fun. They're bringing that back, and it's good.
Yeah, you definitely get your money's worth of fun. You're not okay. The movie was 2.5 hours.
Yeah, roughly,
It's
yeah.
About.
You definitely don't like at the end of the movie. You don't feel like, man, I just spent $10 or however much
Yeah.
to watch, or you don't feel cheated out of it.
I mean,
So,
I watched it twice out of pure, like, because I wanted to see it again. Like, I could have easily done this without the notes. It would have been a lot less very specific about things. But I watched it because I wanted to see it again. Like when I played through Last of Us, I wanted to talk about it. Like when I read Batman 40, I wanted to talk about it. I wanted to read it again, play it again, stuff like that. I watched this movie again because I wanted to see it again. And it's not someone who does watch a lot of stuff, and I don't do that often, at least anymore. I can tell you the movies I've seen more than once in theaters. All 3 Lord of the Rings, King Kong, Guardians of the Galaxy, this, and that's pretty much it right now. So, I mean, it takes a lot for me to like a movie. See it again in theaters.
What's even better for me is like I can go see the movie anytime I want. I work at a movie theater. I can see it for free. I can see it I can see it on anytime I want, and I can just enjoy it, whether it's with the group that I saw it with or everyone had like weird reactions. Like near the end, when Captain America said Avengers, then it cuts. Someone went kind of like, ah!
Right?
I know, it would have been great if they continued a little bit.
They'll give us the symbol for Infinity War. So, I think that brings us to the end of the show, unless you got any closing quotes, comments, or anything like that.
No, like this is like the second like group of people I've actually like talked in depth about the movie, and both times I really want to go see it again now.
Yeah. I hope some of my inputs made you want to look at like different things and look at the way I look at it, because I do kind of look at different things. Like I found a lot of stuff from you guys I didn't know, so I thought that's good.
Like
so,
the Archie reference.
Yeah, like wouldn't even guess that.
Now you gotta go watch it again. See if you can pick up on
That's
all
okay.
those.
I'm going to enjoy my day off tomorrow.
Then you can tell the person next to you, hey, that's an Archie reference. Like, just leave me alone. I want to watch
Like,
it.
who the fuck are you? Don't talk to me.
What the hell's Archie?
What's an Archie?
Does Scott Snyder write it? Then I don't care.
Friggin' actually, you might have referenced an Archie at one point or another. Who knows? I guess that's all we got. Is there any other fine details that you wanted to bring up or anything like that? Other than, again, I'm upset that we may not see Quicksilver again. We got the blood that I've been demanding, and I'm sad about it. Kind of like what Snyder said. People want we wrote the last Batman story people wanted to see, just so people realized they didn't want to see it. Well, I got the blood that I wanted to see, and now I realize I didn't want it.
Careful what you wish for.
I like that fact that death doesn't matter, I guess.
And then, sort of with the going along the lines of death, Joss Whedon, like, for the sake of the movies, he was saying like that Coulson was dead. It's just like, yeah. So whatever.
Yeah.
Or the way he looks at it is Coulson's dead, because then it would have made the Avengers avenge nothing.
Yeah. Like, I mean, it made sense for him to die. I mean, it really did. For plot plan, like, as a plot wise, it made sense for him to die. And some people were like, there's two lines on that. Some people were more upset they brought him back. Some people were upset that he died to begin with. I think by bringing him back makes his death moot. But that's all they needed was that little push, just like what Nick Fury told Captain America by showing him the cards. He made something up, but it worked. It was that push that was needed.
And as far as all the Avengers, like individually, they all think that he's dead. So
Yeah.
So now they just got to keep lying to him. But,
Yeah.
Oh well. Oh, that might make their reaction a little more better. Like if they actually did meet him, like, you're alive.
Yeah, I've been alive for a couple years now. What?
Yeah, discovered some pretty crazy stuff. Like this new group of people called Inhumans. That may be important. Maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah, he might actually pop up in Inhumans.
Maybe.
I could see that.
Yeah. Well, from what I understand of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I don't watch enough of it. I don't watch it, so I don't know too much about what's going on. I know that they're setting up the Inhumans. That's all I really know. So, on that note, this show actually I guarantee this ran longer than what we're aiming for, because we're trying to shorten these up. But I knew this was going to be a long one because of the subject matter. And we actually got more discussion than I thought we would, because I didn't realize how much we could talk about the news that came out, or how much I could talk about the news.
Realize how much you could talk about a 2.5 hour film.
Again, we're wrapping this up. Do you have any closing comments before I close everything up?
No.
See you for Ant-Man.
Yeah. We'll probably have you back sooner than that. For those watching... Oh, go ahead.
I can come back for any movie you want to talk about, or any big movie news you want to talk about.
Do a commentary on something. We do need to do another commentary. That stuff's fun.
Yeah. Either we need to find out a way to do that like online, or maybe if at some point we can actually get to like one location and then
Yeah.
Just like watch and then systematically launch these episodes.
Yeah. As I was gonna say, for a viewer out there, don't forget to subscribe, like, etc., all that stuff.
Definitely share with your friends.
Definitely, yeah. Spread the word. Spread the word. Teach everyone about the things we say, because sometimes it's profound, sometimes it's stupid. Mostly entertaining, though. I think that's really
Read
it.
comics.
Yeah, read comics. Actually, I just bought a book about reading comics. I should get it Tuesday. I can't wait to actually. It's an actual book. It's crazy, I know. So I can't wait to read that. So this has been New Issues. I'm Dane Pace.
Bye.
Colin Karkosh.
And I'm not David. I am Alex Karkosh.
It's really weird hearing Karkosh twice. We enjoyed having you. I hope you enjoyed being had.